Hey, Johnny, I got a little frog in my throat. I'm going to go ahead and let you take this one, all right?
Growing up can be a pain.
Yes, sir.
You're not a man until you come of age.
Yes, sir.
We've given up our teenage years
Yes, sir.
in the effort to pursue our career.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Once again, these are original tracks, and if you listen closely, you heard me open up that song just now. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. I mean, y'all heard it. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Today is a Tribute Tuesday. A little bit later on in today's show, man, with the entertainment report, we're going to talk a little bit about Don Lemon. Don't boo that brother. Don't boo him. He had a rough New Year's Eve. We're going to talk about Don Lemon, and we're also going to talk about we hit the explicit language little check box today on the show. We're going to talk a little bit later as well in the entertainment report about Lookin' Cat. So stay tuned for that. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Before I jump into the chat room on Spreaker.com and get some of your thoughts about what I've talked about already today, the Doug Stewart Show, first of all, let me say this. The Doug Stewart Show is brought to you by firefan.com. Join my leagues by going to firefan.com using the promo code TDSS, all right? TDSS on the very first page, firefan.com, very first page, TDSS, and then search and find the Doug Stewart Show. They bring you the Doug Stewart Show, all right? But looking at these conference records through the bowl season this year, first of all, shouts out to the ACC, man. The ACC in bowls this year are 8-3. Yeah. Go ahead, ACC. You know, the ACC is kind of like the little black sheep of the family. Like, they always get talked about as being one of the lesser tier Power 5 conferences, and so I'm happy to see that. You know, I got a relationship, I guess you would say, and I've been a fan of Georgia Tech since, 1991 when my brother went to school there. Georgia Tech brought, the Stewart family to ATL, so I check out the ACC. But the ACC 8-3 in bowl games this year. The SEC 6-5 in bowl games this year. And here's the big one, man. The Big Ten. Oh, the vaunted Big Ten. Ohio State, the number 2-3 team in the country. The Big Ten is 3-7 in bowl games this year. Not only are they 3-7 in bowl games this year, Penn State, who lost last night, Michigan, and Ohio State have all lost their bowl games. Yeah. So all of this love that the Big Ten got this year, and once again, this is kind of like an aberration. Like, every year, whether you hate them or love them, most football fans would say that the SEC is the best conference in college football. This year, that wasn't the case, okay? This year, that wasn't the case. The SEC was kind of down. Some of the teams outside of the top 2 or 3 were mediocre. Some were even bad. And you look at the Big Ten and what they did, beating up on each other this year in effect, and you say, oh, the Big Ten is the best conference in college football this year. When they played outside of their conference in these bowls this year where it really counted, okay, the Big Ten is 3-7. So even on y'all best years, y'all still suck. Yeah, 3-7. Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State loses. And once again, I don't want to bring up old stuff, but I mean, Ohio State just got embarrassed the other night against Clemson. I mean, that was an abomination. The best team in your conference historically comes down and takes on the Clemson Tigers and doesn't put up a stinking point. Shame on you, Big Ten. Shame, shame, shame on you, Big Ten. That's right. That's right. Let me read some of your messages in the chat room on Spreaker.com here on the Doug Stewart Show. Shame, shame, shame. From Sensational, what's the SEC's record in bowl games? I just gave it, man. Pay attention. The SEC is 6-5. From Thorny Switch, Big Ten was the toughest conference this year. Exactly. Arsenio up in here. Things that make you go, Yeah. From James, the big truck driver, Lick Cat, it must be Woman Tuesday. Thorny, you at all, or you all get 2 days. No, not quite. But I actually can't wait for tomorrow for Woman Wednesday. Yeah, the women not getting 2 days. For new listeners to the Doug Stewart Show, we actually have a day dedicated to women on Wednesday. We call it Woman Wednesday. Nobody else in radio, terrestrial, online, nobody else gives women their own day but us here on the Doug Stewart Show. They love it, too. Rough Buff. Licking cat is a healthy thing as long as the cat is clean and not fishy. I don't have a problem with that, but make sure you stay tuned to listen to the story in hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show. But they kicked you out after 3 weeks. How did you know, Johnny? From Sensational, you just gave Johnny Gill permission to sing for you, Doug? Yeah, I did, man. And, you know. Oh. Okay, so, I see what you're saying. So the story I told earlier is I left Roxbury, after only 3 weeks and living up there. So what happened is they invited me back for a special reunion type event. Right. Because a lot of time had passed between when I was 8 years old, when I first was with the group, and to when Johnny came on. You're right. I need to clear that up. So that's what happened. They invited me back to a reunion for the group, and that's when we sung Boys to Men. So that's how it went down. From Rough Buff, T-Dub, that makes sense, but he was a bad boy besides them dry-ass Jerry curls. I don't know what they're talking about. From D-Bell, Stewie's been out of the loop for a minute. What's up with the music during the breaks? Doug moonlighting as a smooth jazz DJ on the side? Yes, I am. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. From T-Dub, rough Billy Sims only played 5 years, had catastrophic knee injuries like Yale Sayers, the modern ACL tear. Yeah. So back in the day, and he's talking about the great Billy Sims played for the Detroit Lions. Back in the day, if you tore your ACL during those times, like the early, mid-'80s and before, obviously before, your career never was the same. For the most part, a lot of times back then you had an ACL tear, you were done. Your career was done. Nowadays, i.e. Adrian Peterson, a lot of cats, they have an ACL tear and they're back the next year just as good as ever. Like when I tore my ACL in 1990, it wasn't a 1-year thing. It was definitely a 2-year thing to come back and play. So the technology and medicine was totally different back then. And, once again, this was back in 1990 for me. I actually wore a cast on my leg from my ankle all the way up to like the middle of my thigh for, was it 6 weeks or 6 months? It couldn't have been 6 months. I think it was 6 weeks. And so, when the cast came off, my leg was like little as hell. It took me a half a year, goddamn, to just build my one leg back up to the size of the other leg. That's not funny. That's not funny. And so, yeah, Billy Sims, man, was a bad boy. Another Oklahoma running back, Marcus Dupree. You've seen the story of Marcus Dupree on those 30 for 30s. Same thing. Knee issues for Marcus Dupree as well. It's sad, man, and it's a new day. You get injured now, man, that's nothing. That's just a little bump in the road. All right, when we get back from the break, man, let's talk a little bit about the title of today's show. Get to steppin' and don't cut the corners. Yeah. Don't go away. Back in 3 minutes, the Doug Stewart Show.